After a week with the brand new Prelude, I must say, it's actually pretty good. There's a lot to love about this vehicle, and I'll explain all that in this video. And what I will tell you is this is probably the most positive review of the new Prelude on YouTube. It's not as bad as everyone claims it is. And there are definitely people that would want this. Sadly, that's not me, but I can see who it's for. So let's go for a drive and let me tell you all about it. First things first, let's get it out of the way. It's expensive. Here in Canada, 53,000 Canadian dollars for a car that only has 200 horsepower. It seems like a lot, and it is. It's priced more than like a GR86, obviously. It's priced more than a 400Z. It's priced more than, well, a Mustang EcoBoost Premium, like with the high package. It's priced more than a BMW 230i xDrive. So yeah, if you really are in the market for a two-door coupe, that is, well, around 50 grand, you have options. However, none of those are hybrids, and none of those have, well, the Honda reliability. So that's something, right? I get why they priced it the way that they did, because, well, the Civic, it's priced quite high already. And then they had the Integra on top, which is nicer than a Civic. And sitting on the inside of this, well, the inside of this is nicer than that of the Integra. So they kind of have to stack it on top. So I get it in terms of what Honda is thinking, but I also understand at 53 grand, that's a lot of money. There's no better way to say it. It's a lot of money. And for 53 grand, you would expect just nicer things like lumbar support, or at least adjustable lumbar support. You don't get that here. 360 camera, you don't get that here. Like, maybe even more sound deadening to make the interior quieter on the highway, but you don't get any of that. What you do get is essentially the entire front end of a Civic Type R. Let's put it into sport with S+. Let's use these paddles a little bit. Okay. When you turn this thing, it's amazing. It wakes up the entire chassis. The chassis dynamics is so good. It's so good. You have to drive it hard to feel everything come alive. And it feels like, it feels like a Civic Type R. Sure, it doesn't have as much heft in the wheel. Could be a couple things. I only have 235 section front tires rather than 255, I believe, is stock on the FL5 these days. And of course, the compound is very different as well. But the entire front geometry is an FL5. An FL5 drives really, really good. It does. You got the same brakes, these amazing 4-piston calipers, like, they're great. They have really good feel, and like, you just feel that assurance as you slow the vehicle down. And it's more than just the tuning that they put in. It's not like they just lifted the FL5, because like, can't demonstrate it on public roads too well, but when you're in a turn, for example, and you're maybe going a little too hot, you lift off and you feel the rotation. Now, some of that is the electronics that they put in here to make it feel that way, but it feels good. It feels like it tucks right in. It's great. Like, every single turn you take this vehicle, it's really good. But the problem is you do have to drive it harder to feel it, to understand it. Like, it's so amazing to drive. I just want to keep driving this car. But it's only in these tight turns that you feel it. The chassis, the steering, it's just, Honda has done some amazing work here to make it the way that it is. You certainly feel it. It feels great. It really does. Now, with only 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque, it's not going to blow any doors off drag racing or anything like that, but it's not designed to. It's designed, well, for a GT, like a cruiser, but when you get into twisties, you can still have fun. You got your different drive modes on here, so you can tune it the way that you want. It has adaptive dampers, so depending on the road condition, you can change the dampers to, well, the way that you want the vehicle to handle and to drive. I'm so conflicted here. In one side, it's like, it feels like an FL5. But on the other side, it's like, where did my power go? Where did my shifter go? The hybrid, you know what? I don't have any problems with the hybrid system. This eCVT with the paddle shifters, it's fine. The paddles actually even feel very nice. They're metallic, like they feel great. It's just so conflicting because it's like, on one side, you know Honda can do more. You know Honda can build, like, essentially a two-door FL5, but they didn't. They didn't do that. They wanted something very different. What I've learned after like a full week of driving this is, who this is designed for is, every corner just feels so good. Just, you have to take it in. Let me just put it back into standard comfort mode here. Who this is made for is maybe someone that's a little bit older. Maybe, well, definitely someone who doesn't have kids, because you can not fit really kiddos back here. In fact, the seats, the mechanism to fold it forward, like when you fold it forward, sure, it folds forward, but it doesn't like slide the seat forward. So you can't like easily get access to the, well, back. And once you do have it slid forward and you got everything that you need, when you put it back, well, it doesn't put the backrest back where it was. It's almost vertical. So like, they definitely didn't think about people in the back. The rear seats on this is certainly an afterthought, but that's fine. It's kind of like the CRZ. The CRZ or CRZ, well, it had back seats in Japan, but here in North America, they didn't put it in because they're like, well, the average height and size of, well, someone in North America won't fit back there. And they're right. It was super cramped. Same thing with this. It's super cramped. You're not fitting a full-size adult back here, but that's fine. It was never really designed for that. They could have just given you a parcel shelf, just like the CRZ, but people would have complained. It's like, oh, why didn't you give me seats instead? They gave you seats, and now you're complaining about the lack of space. I mean, it's the world we live in, right? We have to complain about something. But I must say, like I said, after a week of driving this, of really dailying and driving it a little bit more aggressively on random times, I see who it's for. Like, if you're retired or about to retire, or someone that's a little bit older without kids, you won't need those back seats. If you want something that's a little bit more reliable, low ownership costs, this is great. And there's not much out there that has low ownership costs. If you want to, well, go for drives, if you're the type of person that takes the scenic route rather than a highway, this is great for that. On those scenic routes, this is going to give you the dynamics that you want. But it's still going to give you amazing fuel economy for those drives. It's it's a very, very small percentage of people that this is designed for. But for those people, I feel like you're gonna love it. It's not for me. I would want something with, well, back seats. So for me, it's actually not the FL5. It's actually the DE5, the Integra Type S, because the Integra, out of the box, it makes the right sounds. It looks, in my eyes, better. That's just for me. Not everyone's going to feel the same way, and I get that. But for me, the DE5 is basically perfect. Because I do have kids, or kid. But I feel like this product, everyone bashing on it and everyone hating on it, looking at the numbers and hating just because of the numbers, haven't driven this, haven't experienced this. And after you have experienced and driven the new Prelude the way that it's designed, I feel like some people is definitely going to change their mind. It's still priced high. I'm not going to... I have no way of defending that. But with just the bits from the Civic Type R, with the package, I can get it. In any case, let me know what your thoughts are on the new Integra. In any case, let me know what your thoughts are on the new Prelude. Is it worthwhile now that you hear my thoughts? Or do you still think it's a pile of trash and it's overpriced and no one should ever buy it?